Okay, Bibi. The topic for today is how to attend different situations in a classroom since our experience as a teachers, right? Because you're a future teacher and you're able to avoid some situations or solve a lot of them in a classroom. And it's very important how you attend the different situations, the different problems that you can find in a classroom with your students, right? So I'm going to start sharing with you a question, and I would like to know you're thinking about some specific concepts, in this case, the discipline. For example, the first one is what are your views about discipline? And I'm going to share with you by chat the question.
Okay.
What are your views about discipline? What do you think about it?
Well, about discipline, um, well, it's a lot of view because you have to be attentive to someone who are with a bad behavior, uh, good behavior, with the extreme way, because someone I know, for example, an activity, someone don't want to do anything, or the other one finish the activity really fast. So we have to manage the situations and have know how how work with it. So in discipline, when it is a bad behavior, um, I think that it's important to take into account our work and maybe make rules in order to manage the situation or help the students to improve their his or her ability and reduce the stress in this case. Or if it is a student really quiet because it happens, someone are really quiet. So we have to give the tools to help them to face
Mm-hmm.
the yes the most hidden word I know. Like teacher, I go to the
Mm-hmm.
bathroom or help me with something, please. Yeah, yes.
And yes, you're right. And as a teacher, we have to take into account that we have to use the correct vocabulary with all of our students in any situation because it's very important that they can feel the accompaniment from us, right?
Yeah.
That's very good. So we're going to suppose that you find a grosser situation between two different students, for example. The question is, what will you do if your students are being gross in a classroom, while if you're teaching, if you're while you're explaining any topic, what will you do? What do you think is your attitude from this?
It's pretty gross. First of all, I have to stop, breathe, and start to move thinking about another strategy that
Yes,
help me to make the student understand. So
exactly.
um, usually happens to me with the students in third grade. Is I think that is so gross for um, whatever topic. Usually with vocabulary or something about grammar, and he's well, I don't know, I don't understand, I don't do anything. So
Exactly.
the most my usual didactic or change his mind to change his mind is
Yes.
first of all sit down next to me and help him with the activities. If it is something individual, no? But
Okay.
if the activity is in group, I I say to students that they organize the group. But in this case, I said, hey, come on and work with me and this group. So I go to this group and I help them and I help these students to involve in this environment and try to do the activity. So if I leave them in his care, no, I don't. I don't
Yes.
because he didn't do anything. I always have
Exactly.
to involve them in the with me, every time with me. Come on, go to this thing, or hey, this is in this way. What do you think about it? Or if I make some mind map in the blackboard, I said, hey, come here and tell me, I know, something about the topic.
Yes.
They have to identify the things. For example, the last class, I in third grade is in past verb to be was word. So
Exactly.
he's no, I don't understand. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Like, hey, come on, you can come here and tell me.
Yes.
What is with which pronouns? Where is which pronouns? Why and everything about it. And I sit down with him. I sat down with him, sorry, and I did the activity with him. So
Yes. And it's very important, and also teachers, we can evaluate all the strategies that we implement in all our classes, our meetings. Yes, because sometimes perhaps they're not useful, but in another time we can find a lot of better results from our strategies and our different kind of activities that we're proposing for our students get funny, or for example they can learn a new topic. Sometimes we think that we're explaining an easy topic, but perhaps for them it's a difficult topic. We have to find the correct strategies to avoid mistakes and have fun from them, right?
mhm,
So we have to explain in the best way. We have to avoid mistakes, right? And we have to solve a lot of mistakes throughout our explanation, right? It's very important that you can take into account what are the strategies and what are the most difficult topics for our students in order to give them a better activity game, or for example singing, on changing our different tools, right,
yeah, yes,
in order to our all our for example grammar, that is the most difficult topic when we're teaching. It's very funny and showy for them.
yeah.
So I would like to know, what will you do if your strategies for behavior management were not successful?
Well, uh, we always, as a teacher, have to look for the best way to. Yes, you are right. We have to change every time the activities, not always the same, because the students are really dynamic or they are, and
Yes.
always they have to change. Usually an activity it's like 5 minutes or more because they lose the attention and involve in another thing and well, that's a really crash. Because but if the strategy doesn't work, um, well, no, I think that usually we have to change the strategy because if we don't try this, uh, I think that it means that we or I not a good teacher because I'm not managed some situations and probably I'm not so fairly set. Mm, but yes, I don't know if it is happening. Something that
Okay, very good. That how much noise and movement around the classroom will you permit?
um,
Do you consider you're able to permit a lot of noise, a lot of movement around the classroom, or no?
depend of the class, the activity, the group. Because if I know that it's a hard group, because some groups are really hard to manage, and only you have to you have to be really strict. Um, so yes, I think that in these cases, the noise I have to avoid the noise because if I permit a little bit of it, it involves in a bad noise and they shout, they scream, they hit the others between them. That's terrible. But it is a group that is really quiet, it's calm. You know that there is a student with the attention point and who disturb the others and bothering the others, you can control him or there.
Mhm.
But you can permit a little of noise. Well, the idea of that of English class, I don't know, but I think that is interactive. They have
Mhm.
to share or go to other classrooms and make some questions. So they have to go out of classroom. And of course, we said, hey, please don't run because you can fall down and you can hit. But well, it doesn't matter for them.
Mhm.
They go
Yes.
around and go the interview. But I think that it's good in some cases, as I told you, some
Yes.
groups.
Remember, because sometimes we have big groups of students of different ages, but it's very important that you can understand different behaviors and attend them at the best way. So, um, when, for example, we find a situation where the student says, I don't like to do homeworks, but the student is working in the classroom, yes, talk out the class, it's very important that you can evaluate what's happening with that and how can we help them, our students, to solve this situation. So, what are your views on the value of homework? What do you think about it, and how will you do it?
Mm-hmm.
Will you grade because participation, or since explanations, or writing, or how do you do it?
Well, in these cases, when the students don't didn't present any homework, um, but well, as we spoke, he or she works in class. Um, I understand sometimes parents work late and arrive home while the student is sleeping. So I understand it. But another hand, the student is so lazy at home and just watch TV. So I say, okay, then in these cases, I try to evaluate as much as possible I can in class. And if okay, I leave a homework and then don't present. So I say, okay, you don't present this homework. Uh, Answer these questions, and I write or I say him three or four questions. And usually, if the student knows, he or she answers. So
Mm-hmm.
I use this. Or if I notice that the student is so lazy and okay, work in class,
Yes,
but no,
that's right.
the knowledge don't have the student don't have students don't have the correct knowledge or are in a mistake, are mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
um, I say, okay, come on. I give you this workshop and you have to complete it in your home and whatever until this date. So I give deadline and I write in the agenda and through the web page in order to inform and communicate with the parents and okay, I told him the course director in order to help me to share the information with the parents because
Mm-hmm.
if the students know me and in this way, in another way, I have to make sure and I have to call the parents. And
Yes.
I know the best way.
Sometimes we can't observe it. I'm sorry for stopping you.
Okay.
But our students are all the time evaluating us, and it's very important that we show how we are. So they commented, they're commenting, for example, at home with their parents. How is my teacher? Mm, what about so the parents are asking for students, what about your teacher? Um, what does it behave? And it's very important that we show love, vocation, and accompaniment. That is the most important. Moreover, when we're working with children, right?
Mhm.
In high school, perhaps no, because they're attending another situations and they worry all the time about delivering their grades, their homeworks. But sometimes it's not so important for them uh, how the teacher explain, but we don't have to take care of them because all the time we have to be very useful for them, very friendly, very excited, right? It's very important. But we have to take into account. So, um, then talking about teaching and learning, why, for you, why do you think it's more important, teaching or learning? In why? Or
Mm,
if you think are the same important, have the same importance?
mhm. Well, I think that I believe that it is for us learning. So every day I learn from my students. and my students learn about me. And teaching is a pedagogic way in, or a knowledge that I have to have in order to show them some instructions or show them the way to do different things.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that it's important, most more important, is learning. Learning because pedagogic means you have always you have to read and learning. You have to involve in this area while of the time. And students, well, they are learning. So I think that
Mm-hmm.
is part. It's both are learning in this way.
Yeah, yes, you're right. Sometimes you can say, uh, we can't teach if we don't understand, if we don't learn. For example, in this case, when we're learning English, perhaps if we don't have the best fluency or the best preparation, the correct preparation, we can't teach well, right? Because we
Mm-hmm.
can make mistakes, but it's important that step by step we are preparing all our ideas, all our tools, and how you view your future teaching process. It's very important,
Yeah,
yes? And we have to reflect about our teaching work because it's not easy.
yeah,
And why reflect? So, what might motivate you to reflect on what you do when you're not required to do by an outside influence, such a principal, copywriting teacher, or certification process? And the short answer is yourself. You may feel compelled to do it based on your ethical obligation to students as both a teacher and fellow human. And related to this idea, the table or this chart identifies a different reflective status according to each personal thinking, right? But you're right, it's very important. Yes.
yeah, yeah.
And do you think, do you need all the time teach with vocation or
Mm,
just an obligation?
no, I think there is a vocation. I like to teach and I share with others my knowledge with others. I like to found people who said I don't like English. I can if this language doesn't work for me. I love it because we can say, hey, come on, you can. Because this is in this way, and you can show them an easy way to learn. And you say, hey, yes, it's easy. Thank you. I think that the most
Mm-hmm.
interesting part is they write books. They share with us. Yeah, I think there is a occasion I don't feel obligated. Sometimes I say yes, I'm worried and I'm tired. Mm, but I know I don't know it's like sometimes. So I have a lot of things to do and sometimes I'm so stressed. But
Mm-hmm.
so I review and think in it again and no, yes, I can and it's nice. So
Yes.
it's
And it's very important to dedicate time to our students. They can
mhm,
feel it. And I
yeah.
believe a simple way to be reflecting will be to make a point each day as you leave the school parking lot, for example, to ask yourself three questions. I believe there are three different questions very important. The first one will be what went well today and why. Yes,
Mhm.
for example, upper classes, right? What went well today and why? I believe it was a great day because I could share with my students. I feel good, I feel happy, I'm relaxed. Yes. And the second, I believe what could have gone better and why you can say I can or I feel I can improve my relationships with some students or for example with my mates with other teachers because it's very important the work environment because we spend a lot of time working in the same place and perhaps the classroom is our home.
Mhm.
Yes, sometimes
Yes.
we can't feel that, but it's right. For
Yes.
me, it's very important. And the third question for me, that it's so important. What do you want to remember for the future? Sometimes we have a very, very important experiences with our students, with a class, because while we're working, sometimes we can find different in
Mhm.
lifestyles in our students. Perhaps we can tell to a different group of students. I don't know what about her or his behavior, but sometimes we don't know about all the situations, problems, or missings that they have in their lives. It's
Mhm.
very important to recognize them and to understand them in order to help and accompany them, right?
Yes. Okay.
Okay, Vivian, thank you very much for sharing with me your personal opinion. So I
And
would like to share with you my screen. Tell me?
have you teach different grades?
Yes, I have. Right now, I'm working with elementary and high school, and it's very important that you can recognize different behaviors and understand them because all the time you're listening to cries. Yes, they're crying all the time, they're jumping, they're asking, they're answering, they're coming up, they're getting out all the time. And
Mhm.
sometimes you can feel tired about it, but you understand that is your work, and if you have it, it's because you have vocation for that because
Mhm.
it's not easy. Yes, but it's an important profession, one of
Yes.
the most important professions. So I would like to share with you my screen in order to you can see a picture, right? A picture and talk about it. Please give me a moment. Wait for me for a while. Can you see the picture?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Here were some essential communication skills for our career. In this case, Bachelor in English is for in English, right?
Mhm.
And the idea with this picture is we can evaluate the importance of all of these skills in our career exactly. So,
Mhm.
for example, in this case, if you talk about listening, why do you consider, or why will you consider listening to the other people? It's very important. I can tell, for example, it's very important in order to avoid fights, problems, and the dialogue. It's always the best way, yes, to avoid mistakes and problems, right?
Mhm. Yes.
And another thing that is very important, but this is focused to the educational or academic learning, is open-mindedness. Yes, because if you pose open-mindedness, we can understand different situations, not only academical, right? Because it's very important that um, take into account psychological situations, because we can say no, I'm not studying or solving psychologist situations, but if you have different relationships in work, moreover because we're working all the time with other people, we have to take into account a lot of behaviors, a lot of problems, and different strategies to implement to solve different situations that perhaps we sometimes can't. But the main idea is that we can give to the other people the companion, for example. Yes, but here we can find six different scales that I believe is very different, very important to develop throughout our career. So I would like to know your opinion about all these different scales,
Okay.
communication skills.
Yes. When I'm agree with you with the listening and open-mindedness, and in listening, it's important to listen our students in their complaints, for them to understand what happens with the students. If they are good, they are bad, they understand, if they are agree with the things that we give. So I think that is an important thing. Different minors. Um, well, it's very important too because if you are in near very close, the relation close with your students about learning, about teaching, about the whole environment, the classes will be amazing, and the knowledge, the explanations, and everything will be in a good fluency. So um, it doesn't um, it doesn't have walls or no walls or barriers or shackles between teacher and student, and usually we can be just a friend,
Mm-hmm.
not a teacher, but more than friends. And this is the open mindedness too, because if you are a friend with your students in a respectful way, the open mindedness help us to understand every situation in the school and scholar context and in the common life, and usually try to understand and share our knowledge, our opinion with the student in a correct way, using the appropriate words, of course.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And the feedback, the feedback in class is really important because you can solve some questions that the student have in this topic in this previous class, and you can like you start with the knowledge. If the student understood and everything, you can the student can analyze again and say, okay, yes,
Mm-hmm.
I understood and I'm okay with this topic. Yes, that's okay. And usually, the feedback um, help us to remember some situation that the good situation that the student is. So I can be their confidence in order to show them that if they are if they are sad, if they are in a bad mood, we can show them that, hey, you told me something and I noticed that you came across it, and it's something about, it's something between us. And
Mhm.
I can help you with this. You can be her friend. You can listen again. You can be, and you have to have your mind, your open mindedness in order to, when look for the good words and show him or her a good feedback about the situation.
Mhm.
And non-verbal communication. Um, well, I think that yes, it's very important too, because sometimes we just do expression and the student understand. And it
Mhm.
shows that our listening comprehension, that the brain lines, uh, the relation between a student and teacher is really nice because they understand us. So the nonverbal communication, yes, it's really important. And usually helps us in classes too because we can show different actions without words, and they start to think about it and they understand. And yes, those big skills are really important in our career in order to be a flexible and great teacher, not the typical and old teacher with just grammar and those things that were really boring. This, nowadays, everything changed and we have to use different tools, we have to do different activities in order to be a great teacher.
Mhm.
Yes, I believe.
Okay. Okay, very good. Thank you very much. And why do you think the non-verbal communication is important for our educational process?
Mm, sometimes some students are more confident in about about some yes, some students the visual things, our nonverbal communication, show them some action, some commands without words. It helps us to improve their abilities, the communication, and it helps to know the
Don't
knowledge
worry.
and usually improve the vocabulary. The
Mhm.
vocabulary because they can act, they can be an actress and show them different actions. Usually with the common, normal common. Hey, close the door. You can just move your hand and say, hey, please, and move your finger and you point the door. They understand or understand that how to close the door.
Yes.
Yeah, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Moreover, because, for example, the signal language is another kind of learning that perhaps we can find while we're teaching. And it's very
Mm-hmm.
important how to attend that situation. Yes?
Yes.
No, like a fence, like an obstacle, no. But
Mm-hmm.
we're able to attend this situation, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Another question, Vivi. Do you feel confidence in yourself? And why do you think about it?
Yes. Uh, when someone some secret or some situation, I try to calm, keep calm about me and try to find the correct words in order to cheer up here and here. And but I don't like to share this secret or this situation with other one because well, I know that with this people, this person trust me about this, and usually people told me different things, and I'm being so confident because it's nice. You don't have no one to listen to you, and you can be confident in other person. You feel good, and you can help other people.
Yes, you're right.
Mhm.
Remember, if you make sure about your knowledge, you can feel comfortable with your work, with your profession, and all information and knowledge that you're sharing with your students. It's
Mhm.
very important to recognize it, and you can feel comfortable and you feel confidence in yourself. It's very important, and you make sure, for example, when you're talking in public, because sometimes we find people afraid when they have to tell anything in public, and it's not a quality of a teacher, because the teachers are all the time from public for in front of a lot of people and working in team groups. It's very
Mhm.
important to recognize that and take it into account. So,
Yeah.
in order to finish with this, um, can you give me please an example about your own feedback? Because we have to take into account, moreover, that our students are waiting for our feedback, and they're asking about their grades. Yes, and they're always waiting for a ration about their grades. Teacher, why this grade? Teacher, why I lost this activity? Teacher, why what can I improve? Right?
Mhm.
And what can you please give me an example about feedback?
Yeah. Well, when you see them, and yes, that sounds great. And I say, okay, give me your work. We start to analyze what happened with it. Well, when cannot work, it is because didn't do anything. So I say, okay, come on. These things and what happened with this other, you couldn't complete. What did you done? What did you don't work?
Mm-hmm.
What is the answer?
Feedback is very important for our students.
Yes. Well, whenever they have the explanation, I say, teacher, I don't understand. I do, okay, but why don't you, no, why didn't you ask me about it? So, well, some situations, no, teacher, I didn't want it, or I was so lazy, or whatever. But when it's a low grade, okay, analyze what happened with it. Okay, you have some mistakes, you can improve
Mm-hmm.
it in this way. You can watch some videos, or you can try to analyze the exercises that we did in class. So I try to show them what mistakes they have in order to correct them. And usually, I told the students to correct it and present it again. And I try to hide the slow grade when it's who knows?
Mm-hmm. Yes, you're right. That's okay. Okay. Do you consider you count with the essential communication skills?
Competition explanation, that's the word.
Excuse me?
I don't understand you the connection was interrupted.
Okay. Do you consider you count with these essential communication skills in your English career?
I believe that yes, well,
Mhm,
but it's about depend of the situation, you know, because sometimes when I feel so bad about it, and I think that I don't have other way to change the situation, and I think that sometimes I have
mhm,
broken down, like a broken down,
mhm,
well, I feel bad about it. And yeah, I think that about these abilities, yeah, it's also 50-50 because nothing is perfect and I have a lot of mistakes and I have to improve in something. And well, I think that with experience and learning, I can start to understand or learn about it, how to manage it.
mhm. And I can see your commitment with this class, with our encounters. It's very important, and I want to congratulate you again because you're the only participant that are that you are very accurate with all of your answers, your thinking, and you're sharing with me and with, sometimes with our mates all of your knowledge, and it's very important.
Yeah, thank you. That's the idea. Learn and understand
Hmm.
the, the sense about it.
And the idea in this case is that you can continue with this commitment. You're very responsible, and perhaps you will learn a lot about this kind of class. That's very useful for you.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, Vivian, that is all for today. We are going to finish our meeting. I want to congratulate you, and I'm grateful for your participation. And see you our next encounter.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for you.
Okay,
Have
bye
a
bye.
nice night. Thanks. Bye.